Hello everyone, how are you? Today is the second part of the series where we will implement our infrastructure with AWS CDK and Python. We will create our event rule, Lambda, SNS topic with CDK from scratch. So you will find the code base link in the description box. You can take the code from there or you can follow me here for real-time implementation. I would recommend to follow me here so that you can learn more. Please remember that you have to have AWS CLI, CDK library, Python needs to be installed. I have used Poetry as a package manager for CDK installation, but you can use pip as well. You can Google how to do that. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Let me know what you liked and what you didn't like. I will try to make some recommended video from you guys if you have any. So sit tight and enjoy.
So as you know, to initialize a CDK project, we need one empty folder. So I have created this lambda-SNS named folder. Within this folder, if you see, there is nothing inside this folder. So we will be initializing our CDK stack here. This CDK stack we will be developing from scratch. I will give the link of the code base of my GitHub repository in the description box. Please go through the code. You can copy paste the code whenever you want. It is a public repository, and you can deploy your infrastructure by your own. So to follow me through, you can open the GitHub link in the description box and maybe just copy paste the content from there, from the stack content and the Lambda code. From there, if you want to try more, then you write down the code by your own. That will be much more helpful if you are a beginner. So for beginners, I always recommend to write down rather than copy pasting. But I will be doing that here, and I will be pasting the GitHub link there, so please take the code from there. If you know, like, or if you don't know how to initialize a CDK project, please refer to my earlier video of introduction to CDK, where I have defined how to initialize a project of CDK, how to initialize a project of CDK in Python, how to create a project from scratch. Basically, I will not explain that in this tutorial. This I hope you will be already knowing how to initialize a project in CDK. So let's go, and then we initialize our Lambda or is Lambda SNS stack with CDK. So to initialize a CDK project, if you are following my earlier video, you know that we have this command CDK init, and then we have to give what do we need one application, and what is the name of the application. For me, the application name should be Lambda SNS, something like that. Whatever you can give, whatever you want as an application name, and then we have to specify in which language I need this code to be. So for me, we will be using, or I will be using this language as Python, and then just hit enter. So this will create the virtual environment for me for everything, and then if everything is done, then it will show me yes, it is done. So you see here, it is initializing that application project from Python, and then it is creating one virtual environment. So I have to refer this virtual environment as this if I want to activate it, and then how to install the requirements, and then we have to do CDK synth, CDK deploy, everything, blah blah blah. So the virtual environment is already created. Now let's see if I can source this environment. So my virtual environment is ready. Now I am inside my virtual environment. So let's see what it created. So it created this project like readme file. There is CDK JSON, Lambda SNS, this is the stack, and everything is there. Requirements is also there. So I will clear the screen first of all, and then what I'm going to do, I will use Poetry to install all my dependencies one by one. So if you also don't know Poetry, please refer to the video of CDK introduction. You will understand what is Poetry and how to use that. Poetry is a package manager which actually install the requirements that is needed for CDK, and it actually refers to the requirements.txt that we have, and install that. So to initialize this one, so we need this command called Poetry init. So this will initialize the Poetry init for me. So it will ask me for package manager. I will enter, everything is fine for me. So everything I will hit enter, and that's fine. So poetry environment has been defined. I will again clear the screen, and then I have to install the requirements, right? So as I said, I will be using poetry for the requirements installation. So to do that, we have this command, cat then requirements.txt, which I will pipe from with x arguments with the command called poetry add. So this will add my dependencies of this will add the dependencies from requirements.txt and add it with poetry. So this will install all the required dependencies one by one, and then let's see, it will give me yes, this is done. And the last thing that we need is called poetry install, just to verify if everything is installed. So it's showing that no dependencies to install and update. So everything is done. So this is fine. So my code base is ready. So what I will do now, I will open this repository with another ID. So you can use your own repository or your own ID. I will use PyCharm as the ID to follow me through. If you want to follow exactly for me, you need to install PyCharm and open up this repository. So I will open up this repository now. So you see here, I have opened up this folder, this repository with the ID PyCharm, and everything is, I can see this virtual environment, this Lambda stack, first stack is created here, and also the poetry file, everything. If you open this poetry file, you will be able to see this, the Lambda AWS CDK library, and the constructs are also there. So this is required for installation from poetry. That's fine. What interesting is that if I open up the stack, you will be able to see that example stack or example queue creation has been given. We don't need that queue, so we will delete that. And if you see here in above, so it says that the AWS CDK library is not satisfied, or the package is not there, so I need to install it in my local. So first of all, I will click install requirements, and it will automatically install the requirements for me. So if it also shows you like that, just click on the install requirements, and it will install automatically all the requirements for you for AWS CDK library. Now, a very interesting part is that how do we create the stack? So first of all, if you remember from our architecture diagram, that we need one Lambda, we need event rule for that Lambda to trigger, and we need SNS topic, that Lambda to send the event to the SNS topic. So we will be creating the resources one by one. So first of all, let me create the Lambda. So you see here, we have to from AWS CDK, we have imported this AWS Lambda package as underscore Lambda, this one, and this is actually required to create my Lambda function. So in the definition, what we are saying, that create a Lambda function by wow. So this is my Lambda function, and the Lambda function creation is that this is the package where it has one method called function, and under this function we have to pass couple of variables. This is self, so the scope is within this method. Then it has the logical name of my Lambda. The function name I have given is also as my Lambda. The runtime, I have defined that the Lambda should run with the runtime of Python 3.11, and the handler is very important, where it says the Lambda underscore function dot Lambda underscore handler. So this particular file does not exist right now, and this file, where it exists, it should refer to this code variable. Here this code actually saying that the Lambda should take the code from assets of Lambda underscore code. So we have to create one directory here called Lambda underscore code, and within that directory we have to create one file called Lambda function, and the file name should be Lambda function, Lambda underscore function. And then we have to create one method under it called Lambda handler, and it should have two uh, uh, two arguments with it, so like event and context. So this is my Lambda function. Currently there is nothing in my Lambda function. We will also write some code for our Lambda function, but that comes later. So this is how we create a Lambda function in CDK. That's also explained in my previous video of introduction of CDK. Please refer to that if you want to know more. Now the next part is to create the SNS and the SNS topic and the event rule. So let's first create the event rule. So now I have to again export sorry, I have to again import AWS events. This is also a package for creating the events, and here under this we have to create the rule for our events. So for rule creation there is a method called rule in CDK, which it takes a couple of variable, the scope and the logical ID and the rule name. The rule name is my rule I have given, and there is this rule properties. So the rule properties, it has a event pattern. So event pattern is something like when the event rule will trigger. So the event rule will trigger whenever there is a event coming from AWS EC2 event rule, and the detailed type of the event should be EC2 instant start state change notification. So why this is because we are only interested in the state change notification for an EC2 if it is running, if it has been stopped, if it has been terminated. We can also take the events from CloudTrail event. For that the description is big different, but please do remember, or please make a note of it, that if you don't give the detail type correctly, it will not capture the event. So because in this part, or this part is very confusing, and AWS needs to give you a particular string like this in the detail type. Like for CloudTrail event, there is a string called AWS API calls via CloudTrail. So this particular string is needed, otherwise the rule will not be captured by the event. Anyway, so the my rule is created. Now the next part is that what is the trigger point of this rule. So the rule trigger point we have defined, but then we have to define the target of the rule. So how the rule will be target, or what is the target point of the rule. So if the event comes from this source and this details type, the rule will capture that. Then what? Then we have to target something. So what we will target? We will target this lambda. So for that we need one events target. So for that the code is so the code is event rule dot add target, and the targets is so this is the package again, and this is called AWS events target, which actually targets the particular service. And for us the target is the lambda function, and the lambda function is the one which we have created above. So this is fine. So now the event rule captures the event and it has a target of lambda function, so the event will go to the lambda function. But there is a catch. Still the lambda function will not, or the event rule will not be able to target the lambda function. Why? Because the event rule does not have permission to target the lambda function. So we need to give the permission to target this event rule to our lambda function. So how to do that? So for that we have to give our lambda function, my lambda function, to add a permission. Our lambda function, I'm giving my lambda function a permission, the invoke permission. So from the invoke permission is from where the principal is events.amazonaws.com. So the event should have a permission to invoke this lambda function, and the source URL is the event rule URL that we have created. Now here is this IAM, so we have to import this AWS underscore IAM as IAM. So this should do the trick. So we are saying that, hey lambda, I am giving you the permission that the event rule should trigger you. So we are fine. Now the permission part is also done. Now the next part is that we have to create the SNS topic. So the SNS topic creation is very simple. It's just one liner code. Let me show you. So this is how you create an SNS topic. So I have to import something here. So let me import AWS underscore SNS as SNS, and exactly we need subscription as I think I have given as SNS subs, SNS underscore SC. So we are good. So we are saying that the SNS topic will be created as SNS.topic. This is the package for SNS topic. So SNS.topic, and then the scope is self, and the name is my SNS topic, and the topic name is my SNS topic as well. So the logical name and the actual name is same. And this SNS topic has a subscription. So the subscription, and the subscription, it has a email subscription. So SNS topic can have multiple subscription, like a queue subscription, email subscription. So this one I have given as email subscription. And the email subscription is something of a Gmail that I have created long back that I don't use. So this one is the Gmail. This Gmail is from me. So whenever we will create this tag, what it will do, it will actually it will actually create a subscription for this email, and I have to confirm the subscription. So whenever it will create, it will be in the pending subscription status. Then I have to confirm the subscription, then it will be okay. So everything in the stack is fine, but still one thing is missing, that whenever the event rule will trigger the Lambda, so the Lambda will publish the event into the SNS topic. But in Lambda, there is nowhere I have given a role to the Lambda to publish the event to the SNS topic. So we have to give a role to the Lambda, so that the Lambda should be able to publish the event to our SNS topic. So for that, we need to give a role to Lambda. So how to do that? So one of the simplest way to create a permission is to define a list of permission that the role should have. So I will define a list of permission here, lambda underscore permission variable, mm, and the list of permissions should be like this. So this is the variable this is the variable lambda underscore permission. It has a list of permission. So the first permission is the create log group. The second permission is create log stream and put log events. And the third permission, that is the important permission, is that to SNS publish. This SNS publish is the one which we need. So for resources, I currently don't need to filter out any resources. So what I will do, I will give as start. So for that purpose, I need this lambda to publish any messages to any topics. But in production, the permission should be stringent. So you should give the particular resource permission to this lambda. But for demo purpose, it's fine. We can give any resources here. So this is fine. Now this lambda will be able to create log groups, put log events, and create log stream to this particular account under this log group. This is fine. Also, it has this SNS publish event. Now, how to add this permission to the lambda? So for that, we need to create one for loop, and that for loop is like this. So we need to create one lambda role as a variable. So I will call as lambda underscore role, and that lambda underscore role is an IAM dot role, and it has a scope of self, and under that it needs a logical name. So I will give it as my role name, maybe my lambda role, and then it needs one role name. So I will give the role name as the same as my lambda role, and then the last part, it needs assumed by. So the assumed by will be the lambda itself, because we are creating lambda role. So we will give this as service principal, and the service principal should be lambda dot lambda dot amazon aws.com. So that's it. So we have created one lambda role. It will be assumed by lambda, and the role name is my lambda role. That's fine. Now we have to put some policy for this role. So to put the policy, we will give for loop for the policy. So we have this policy. We will take the policy from the list that we have created in lambda permissions. So for this permission, we will take one by one permission. So for first loop, it will take this permission. It should add to the role, and then I will add this lambda role dot add to policy, and uh, the policy should be IAM dot policy statement, and it should take the argument of policy. That's it. So this is how we add the policy. This is how we add the policies to the Lambda role. Now our Lambda role have all the policies that is needed, all three policies. And now last part is that to add the role to our Lambda. So to add the role to our Lambda, we just need one variable here. So the variable is called role, and the role is equals to lambda role. That's it. So this lambda function currently have a role of lambda role which have this policies. So we are fine. So this is a very bad design to have this permission or to create this list in the stack itself. You can create one constant file and move that lambda permission to there, and from there you can import this lambda function directly here in the stack. So basically for the demo purpose, it's fine to create this lambda permission as a list here, but I always prefer this to do it in a different constant file. So our stack is ready. Now it's time to create our lambda function. So to create the lambda function, so what it will do, we have to understand. So the lambda function will only take the event and it will forward that event to the SNS. We will not modify anything. So for that we have a very simple code. So this is the lambda code where I am importing JSON and Boto3, and the lambda within the lambda handler I am first of all printing the event, and then I am taking instance ID from the event. So the event should have this detail and this instance ID as a dict type, and from the dict type we are taking the instance ID, and also we are now initializing an SNS client with the Boto3 client, and the SNS topic. The SNS topic is the ARN that will be created when we will modify or we will deploy the stack. This is fine, you can also give this later, but I think this is the format the ARN will be after my deployment. So this is the same SNS topic that we have created here. You see here SNS topic, and the topic name is my SNS topic. So the ARN should be like this. If not, we can verify and we can modify it later. Then the message will be formed with the instance ID and the event. So we will take the event from the same dictionary, the detail and the state. The state should hold the event name, like if it has been terminated, if it has been shut down, or whatever it is. Then we will publish the event. So for this SNS client.publish, this part actually this is the reason why the lambda need this SNS publish SNS publish permission. So if now the lambda has the publish permission, now it should be able to publish this message to the event, to the topic that we have selected, and after that if everything goes well, it will return a 200 success code. So that's it. That's in a nutshell. So we have defined our stack sets, we have defined our stacks, we have defined our lambda function, so we should be good. Now the next step would be to see if how the CloudFormation stacks is working or how the deployment will work. So for that we go back again to our terminal where we have installed the poetry and everything, and first of all we do one CDK synth to check if our stacks or if whatever we have written down is perfectly fine or not, if there is any mistake that we have done. We can see that the CDK definition or the CloudFormation template has been generated. We have also the function, the event rules has been created, the lambda permissions are created, the lambda function itself is created. It took the code, the lambda handler also it found everything is okay. It created the CloudWatch log group, it's fine. It will create an IAM role, this is also fine for lambda. So I see everything is fine. Let us check the last one. That's the SNS topic. So this is the SNS topic. The topic name is fine. Everything is fine. So I think we are good. So what we can do currently, we can check the code once again, and we can see that CDK out folder has been created and it has the template. Now we go back to our terminal and we clear the screen. So first of all, we have to bootstrap our environment where we will be deploying. So to bootstrap, we need to configure our AWS credentials. So we need to take out the AWS credentials one by one. So what we can do is we need to give AWS configure, and then it will ask me for the access key. Let me give the access key. Okay, after giving the access key, it will ask me for the secret key. Let me give the secret key as well. So this is the secret key. Then it will ask for the default region name. This is fine, and I don't want to change the output format. Now to verify, we have this command AWS STS to get caller identity. So if it returns, so it will return me the correct account ID. So this is the account ID. If you see here in our code base, this is the same account ID ending with 151. So we are fine. Now the next step is CDK bootstrap. So if you also don't know about this bootstrapping, please refer to the CDK introduction video. You will understand what bootstrapping is and how bootstrapping work and why it is important. So CDK bootstrap, so it is doing now CDK bootstrap. So as long as it does the bootstrap, let us go to the account and let's see what it does. Now I am inside this account and this management console, and I see that let's go to the CloudFormation first. So if I go to CloudFormation, we will be able to see that AWS toolkit has been deployed. So CDK toolkit is going to deploy and the creation is complete. So this is the bootstrapping happened. So the bootstrapping happened correctly. It creates actually a couple of IAM role and parameter and repository role and policy to for this CDK to deploy properly. Now if I go back, I see the bootstrapping is complete. Now the next step, let me clear the screen, and the next step is to do CDK deploy. And for that I will use the approval as automatic. So I will give require approval never. So if I do that, the bootstrapping environment or the bootstrapped account will come up, and the CDK will try to deploy all the resources to the bootstrapped environment. That is the environment that I have opened currently. That is this environment. Now if you see here, it will another CloudFormation stack set will come up, and this is the Lambda SNS stack set that we have created our own stack, and the event you will be able to see that the creation are in progress. So we will wait for some time, and after the creation is complete, I will come back. Now the deployment is completed. Now let's go back to our environment and let's see what it deployed. So the stack creation is completed. First of all, let's go back to our EventBridge rule. So let's try to search for this event rule, and if I go to event rule, we will see one rule, that is my rule has been created. This part is where, okay, yeah, my rule is created, and if I open this my rule, you see here that the event pattern is the detail type is EC2 instance, state change notification, the one that we have defined, and the source is AWS EC2. So this is the source from where it will come, and it should capture the event, and then it will be the target. So the target is the Lambda function, that is a matched event over Lambda function, and if I open the Lambda here from this link, we will be able to see our Lambda function here. So this is our Lambda function, that the one that we have defined. So our Lambda function is there, our EventBridge rule is there. Now the next one is the SNS. So the SNS topic is there. So this, we can see that one topic, this is the my SNS topic, and it has a subscription of this endpoint. This is my Gmail ID. What I will do, I will open my Gmail ID and I will refresh this one, and I see that one AWS notification subscription confirmation came in. So I have to click on this confirm subscription, and as soon as I click on it, the subscription is confirmed. It is showing me that, and if I again now refresh this one, it will show me that the subscription is confirmed. Now everything is done. The next part is the testing. So for that, please watch my next video, how should I test it. Thank you for joining me here, and thank you for watching this video. So if you do like this video, kindly like, share, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Please share it with your friends as well. If they need any help, please let me know in the comment section in which subject area you want to learn more about AWS services. I will try to make up some videos there if possible, and then I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.